Relationships ain't easy, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to change that, but you can enjoy them more. And if you approach them the right way, they can be more than worth it. So I'm John Sanders. I'm husband, father, brother, sharing the mistakes and successes that I've made in my own relationships so I can help you with yours. If you're single, struggling to get a date, or if you're married and you feel like you're a million miles away from the spouse that's sitting right next to you, I got something that's going to help you. We're going to have fun, you're going to laugh, but most importantly, you're going to learn something that's going to help you take your relationship to the next level. Or if you don't have a relationship, you'll learn something to help you get one. Let's jump into the podcast. Hello. Welcome. As always, this is your host, John Sanders. Today's a special podcast because I have a special guest. So before I introduce this guest, I just want to say this is the first guest of the podcast. So yay! I have to start putting those little sound bites in so you have a little crowd in the background. But anyway, so with me, I have the one, the only, Roberto Cavalier.
Yeah.
So now his mom calls him Robert Walker, and that's what his ID says. But he has a nickname. So how you doing, Robert?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. I like that. I appreciate the intro. Sure.
Hey,
it's a blessing.
No problem. I tried. You know, this is my first intro. I'll keep working at it. So when you come back on like the 40th episode,
Okay.
I have it perfect.
Yes, we'll be in there then.
So Robert, I want you to tell the audience about yourself real quick. Who is Robert Walker?
All right. So, yes, my name is Robert Walker. Recent graduate from Mid-America Christian University. Graduated with a
MacU?
Yes, sir. Graduated with a degree in business administration and ethics.
Okay. So not only is he a businessman, but he's a business man.
Yes. I am a business. Yes, man. Here we go. Also, biggest hobby, my thing to do is hoop basketball. That's my sport. It's my game. I'm doing that most of it. I'm always involved.
So word is, so can I tell them where you're from, Robert?
Yes,
is that okay?
Yeah, you tell them where I'm from, yeah.
So Robert's from Norman, Oklahoma.
405.
So the word is, from what I heard, is that now Robert is kind of dominating the courts over there. Now, for those of you who don't know, I used to play basketball a lot, and lately I haven't. So I don't want to say it's a coincidence that in the last 2 years I haven't been playing, and in the last 2 years Robert has started to dominate. But I'll just say he can't hoop. So, he did learn stuff from me, but I think I'm getting old now. I'll have to retire my basketball shoes. We'll see. I guess I'll have to wait till my son gets old enough to play, and then I'll pick him back up. I feel like that's a rite of passage. I got to make sure he can play. But anyway, there's a reason why I brought Robert on this podcast. Multiple reasons. The first reason is I wanted to get a younger person's perspective, a Gen Zer, if you will, their perspective on dating. And in particular, this episode, we're talking about black men and their perception of black women. I've heard a lot of things lately about black men who just, for whatever reason, they refuse to date black women. So I kind of want to get Robert's input on that. But before we do, Robert, I want to let all the listeners know that, yes, Robert is single.
Mm-hmm.
He's going places.
Right.
So, Robert, describe to people so they know if they see you out in public, they will know it's you. And they'll be like, oh, that's that handsome young man that I heard on the podcast.
All right. So, tall, milk chocolate,
Okay.
Nah, I'm probably around 6 foot, not too tall. I'd say I have a athletic build. There's not too much fat on me.
And I will say, a lot of people have told Robert that he looks like me. So I know he's handsome. So I can 100% say Robert is handsome. So
I appreciate
women, I'm not
that.
leading
Thank
you
you.
astray.
Yup.
But let me ask you this too before we get into the main topic. What is your ideal, I guess, future spouse, or describe your ideal girl or woman?
All right. So, my ideal woman, I don't have a specific, type of race or anything like that for my ideal woman. Just so me working towards being a businessman, I think having a woman who is in that realm to a business would would kind of be something I would be interested in. And
So you need someone to kind of run along
right,
with you.
like yeah, be partners in business with, like have a partnership with, with my spouse partner, in that
Okay.
type of way. So I think that's something I've been looking at lately.
Do you
You
have an
know,
age range?
age range would just be preferably just around, yeah. So I'm 24, so around that age, not too young, not too much older than me. So maybe like, I'd say 4 years younger than me might be a
Okay.
stretch.
Okay. So
And
20 maybe is as low as you'll go?
yeah,
Okay. Because some people are okay with maybe she's 20, but maybe she's as mature as like a
right,
25-year-old.
right.
Okay. So is it more the maturity
Yeah,
than the age? Okay.
yeah, for sure. And
And then what's the oldest?
the oldest, um, I mean, I feel like anything over 28, I might question.
Okay.
You know, so I guess the 4 year range. So I mean, not that that's like a 29-year-old would be like bad per se, but like it's just kind of like, I don't know, just look at it a
Okay.
little bit different. So I mean, as far as us, like, I'd say just like looking, I want somebody who's intellectual, someone who I can like talk to and talk with, and have good conversations with. I'd prefer they not really be obsessed with their phone. That can be, I'm not trying to hang out with you and you just like, you just on your phone the whole time. So,
Now, what about, because I know you love sports,
right.
mostly basketball. So does she have to love sports too?
No, not necessarily. Obviously, like if the girl I like, is a hooper, then that's like a plus. And of course, like I like that, but you know, um, I don't draw the line there. Like if you're not a hooper, like I'm not gonna be with you.
Okay. So they have a chance.
Right, right. Of course, I like. If they play sports, that's just like a plus in general.
Okay.
If they just
Now,
play.
what if she can beat you in basketball? Will you still date her?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That's even. I don't know. That's like if she can beat me 1-on-1, then yeah, for sure. Like she's gonna have all my respect if she can do that.
You're gonna be ready to marry her on the spot. Like, John, throw me a ring. I'm about to get down on one knee.
Right? Yeah, that's not too many guys can do that.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. Well, I did quit playing about 2 years ago. So okay. So I'm gonna try to sum it up. So someone between the ages of 24 and 28 is kind of the hot spot. You want someone who's intellectual, and you want someone who is probably business savvy, and they can help you along with your business as you go on your entrepreneurial journey.
Right. But I mean, yeah, that's just like something that'd be nice. Yeah.
And what about faith or religion? I'm trying to save you because I know
Right.
your mom's going to listen to this.
Right. Yeah. So obviously, and most importantly, someone who has God first in their life.
Okay.
So, I want to be able to go to church with them, on Sundays, because that's something that's what I do. That's something we're gonna have to do together, and it's not gonna just be like we together, but I go to church and I don't know where they at. Like that's not really gonna work.
No, I don't blame you. Now, ladies, also just be ready because Robert wants to have 15 kids. So anyway, as we move on to the next segment, I'm just joking.
Cap.
No. Yeah, what would be the ideal number of kids for you?
As far as kids, like I kind of thought about that. I wouldn't really necessarily put a number on it. I have to like feel it out. I know that I'd want one for sure, like at least one son.
Okay.
So it's just like whatever the Lord would have planned for me. Like if I have two girls starting out, probably gonna. I mean, I want a son.
So ladies, if you get married to Robert, you have 8 girls. Just know you're gonna be trying for a ninth.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a whole women's team. I might be good. Nah, but yeah. As far as kids go, I'd probably just say I just fill it out. At least one.
Okay.
At least one.
At least one kid. Okay. So, that sounds good. So we're gonna segment now to the main topic.
Uh-oh.
So I brought Robert in here because he's an expert. He's still dating. He happens to be black, and he's met black women before, so he's perfect for this. He's an expert. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Again, we're talking about why, and it seems to be growing, that there seems to be more and more black men who are deciding they don't want to date black women, or they won't consider a black woman when they're considering marrying someone. And so what kind of sparked this, I listened to another podcast and they were talking about this. Someone famous, and I don't want to say her name, but she tweeted something about, she was like, there's a lot of the Christian black men, and in the space that I'm in, they all seem to be, or the majority of them seem to be either marrying white women, Latinas, everyone else but the black women. And so she went on further and was just talking about, how that made maybe her feel and how it could make other black women feel. Mm-hmm. And then, we've heard things from Kanye saying, he's going to leave you for a white woman. There's a lot of perception, especially in athletics. It's like, oh, when you make it, I'll say it's becoming more and more common for men to think, I've made it now, so now I'm going to start dating women of different races. Mm-hmm. So black men dating women other than black women. So I kind of want to get your experience, your Gen Z, and your thoughts on this. So I guess my first question is, do you know of any black men personally, or I don't know, someone you were on a team with or something, and you've just heard them say, yeah, I'm not going to date black women?
So me personally, that hasn't really come up, but I mean, sometimes you can kind of, tell like, some dudes don't be rocking with black women, or not. Right now I got one brother who I really stay connected with, but he likes black women. So as far as that perspective, I wouldn't say I'm really connected with those individuals at the moment who disassociate with black women and don't pursue them. One thing that I think could be like maybe like a cause or for that is just like in our own race, like we, you know, that's who we are, but I think it's kind of perceived as like, you know, the other races are kind of, they might be, so like if we're growing up in a like all black area or something like that, you know, that maybe something we all see and like all we know. But let's say if we make it, you know, as far as basketball or whatever, go somewhere else, and you seeing these other women who are different races, you like you gonna want to try it out.
So you're saying more like curiosity.
Right.
It's like this is something new.
Right. Yeah. So it could so some of that can just be stemming from, there's something new, something that they haven't really been exposed to. But then also that's like, you kind of look at television, a lot of things like that, or movies. A lot of the women of attraction in those movies a lot of times aren't women of color. So it's like growing up seeing that, it kind of gets, in your system, like that's who you've been, those women of color aren't the women that you've been like lusting after as far as.
And not just lusting, because it could just be that they're attractive.
Right.
So I will add this. This was crazy. So I was watching this special. It was on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was Korean. And so what he did is he went to some random street in Korea and he was asking questions to Koreans about black people. Mm-hmm. And he was just saying, what do you think about black people? Then he asked, like, do you think because there are certain things, I guess, the Koreans would say to a lot of black people. So they would say, hey, I think they said black bro and black sis. Mm-hmm. They would say that. I guess they were saying it in Korean. And so he was asking, like, well, how do you think that makes them feel? And he was saying it was good. But then he got to this point, he was like, well, where did you get these ideas from? Mm-hmm. And so even in Korea, they were saying it was from the movies and shows they saw from America. Mm-hmm. So again, it was what you were saying. It was the images that they grew up watching.
Right.
And so because of the roles that the black people were in, because they even said most of the black people in the shows are poor. Uh-huh. And one of the things that the Koreans were saying, that they were a little fearful, especially of black men, because they were like, oh, we think they're stronger. And so it probably comes from watching a lot of these, I guess, gangster movies, right, where, it's always the black people are in some hood and, it's always gun violence. And so I think the same thing goes with us in America. Mm-hmm. For the longest, and I'll go on my little soliloquy here. Because let me go back in history. If you think about it, black people first came over, they were slaves. Mm-hmm. So obviously, in all the print material of the day, they're not going to show black women as the idea of beauty.
Right.
So then you fast forward even to TV starts happening. We have our freedom. We're not slaves anymore, but still, we're still seen as kind of a subclass, a little less than. So now on TV, all of the images of beautiful women are normally blue eye, blonde hair. Of course, they have straight hair, and obviously they're white.
Right.
And for me, I feel like just recently, like maybe the last 3 to 5 years, and I think it really just happened because of social media, seeing black women portrayed as beautiful with their natural hair. Right. So if girls with the fros that are curly like that, I mean, would you agree? Would you say it probably happened the last 5 years?
Yeah. Last 5 years, Disney came out with the Black Princess too. Things like that.
With Princess and the Frog.
Right. Yeah. And then, but then there's also like the bad side of that, that people look at. We got Precious or or you got that one movie where I think it was Tiana Taylor, and she's saying Byron, and you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
a whole lot. So then that's like the other side that I think people associate with black women too, is just kind of like a side where you get like a black woman and there's no really telling what they gonna do.
Oh
Or
yeah. That's like she's gonna go crazy and throw some grits on you or something.
yeah, like they have the Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like those are all bad or anything, but
So if you want to help the podcast, Tyler Perry, we're not talking bad about you.
yeah, facts. All love. But I think that's like another thing that might that could sway a black man away from a black woman, is because a lot of times, you know, it's portrayed like a black woman may always be putting the black man down, just like saying all the things that they don't do, or you know, a lot of things goes in like a hostile environment. Whereas far as like there was to be with someone else, like it might or someone else of a different race, they don't really know anything about black person or something like that, so they're a lot more interested, or just have a lot more just like genuine interest because they don't really know about the culture and all that.
That makes sense.
So
Have you ever heard? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
you're
have
good.
you ever heard that a lot of people think that dating someone white women tend to be less aggressive, or you could say they're more submissive?
Right.
Is that something you've heard, maybe? Or?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to allude in a way, without just being straightforward. but I think that's what a lot of black men think, is that if they like a white girl's not really gonna spaz out on you.
Yeah.
Or
And just for the people, not me, of course, but for the people who are over 30, define spaz out.
So like what I mean by like spaz out, or is just like go crazy on you, or she's not gonna come up to you just like, I don't know, like with a knife or something, just like out of the blue, or because you went somewhere and she didn't know where you at, or something like that. I think that black men think that a relationship with a white girl can be a lot more peaceful in a way. Just as far as just like interaction and things like that, of that manner. Not saying that that's the case. I don't believe that that's.
That brings up a question I was thinking. So, in your experience, we do know that what we see on TV are mostly stereotypes.
Right.
Now, there is a small population of people, of black women, who act like that, but it's not the majority of them, and it's definitely not everyone. Right. So, since you grew up in Norman, and for the listeners who don't know about Norman, Oklahoma, it's not like Atlanta.
Right.
It's not Wakanda. So, I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say maybe Norman's 20% black, maybe.
That's probably solid. I mean, you may not it may be 17%, but you may only see like 5% of that.
I'm gonna try to look this up real quick.
Because there's definitely black folks out here, but I feel like we just be doing our own little separate thing for the most part.
Oh wow. Okay, I looked this up. It's worse than I thought. So it's 3.5% Asian.
Okay.
It's 3.8% Alaska native.
Okay.
I guess, American Indian and Alaska Native, because that makes more sense. And it's only 4% black.
Wow.
And it's 81.1% white.
Sheesh.
So it was worse than I thought.
Yeah, for sure. So
anyway,
we all be hiding, really. That's
yeah. But it's only 4% of you. So
right.
the whole purpose of me bringing up the racial breakdown of your city was just to say, kind of, what's your experience when you're dating, or maybe even a friend dating, with black women, and maybe even if you want to compare it to any other race.
So I would say my experience, I've had one girlfriend that was black, but I wouldn't say she necessarily was with black folks all the time.
Okay. So she wasn't the stereotype that you see on the TVs.
Nah,
Okay.
she wasn't the stereotype that you would see on TV. So I mean, I don't really like, pay attention to that stereotype, because I don't really feed into that, because I don't think that's really right. But so I mean, I'd say mine was good for the most part.
Well, I guess, what would you say, maybe you didn't even date them, but that you came across, what would you say the percentage of women who were even close to that stereotype?
Not many. I can really only think of one in particular.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, most of the ones that I know I know a lot of smart and educated ones.
Okay. I know you have a few friends I've met, and they're out getting their master's degrees and doctor's degrees, and
Right.
trying to be lawyers and things like that. So
Yeah. There's one friend that I have. I think she's going nursing, and there was like a 200-page PowerPoint that she was having to look at or something like that. I thought that was wild.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I never would have 200 pages for a PowerPoint. That's beyond me.
Yeah, so if you guys are depending on Robert to help you in the hospital, there's a 200-page PowerPoint. Oh well, nice. It's nice knowing you.
I'm out of there. But
You're on your own.
yeah, no. For the most part, the black women I know got a good head on their shoulder.
Okay.
And
I have a question. I'm sorry, but you can continue. When you're finished, I have a question.
now you go ahead.
I'm sorry. So, some of this, I think, in our perceptions also kind of stem from maybe how our mom raised us, and maybe not raised, because I don't want to say if you don't like black women, automatically your mom did a horrible job.
Right.
But maybe the job your mom did of sitting you down and talking about this one specific topic. So I know for me, my mom, she was real adamant about, hey, first of all, I want you to find a woman who loves God and loves you. And she was like, I don't care what race she is. But my mom would just explain a lot of the issues that black women have to deal with their self-image, beauty,
Right.
and things like that of nature. And so she just wanted to make sure that I never excluded black women from it, but she also didn't want me to get tunnel vision, say you can only date a black woman.
Right.
So did your mom have any kind of conversation similar to that, like that?
I think we've had one similar to that. I didn't think we went down too specifically into race wise, but yeah, I kind of tell, like, the vibes.
You read between the lines.
Yeah.
So what did she tell you, or what? So I guess she was telling you like what to look for in a woman.
Yeah. What to look for. yeah, as far just things of that nature.
Okay. Do you remember what she told you?
As far as like, I mean, specifically, no, just
Okay.
seeking someone who puts God first. Yeah, I just kind of keep it towards that. That was a while back, so my memory ain't.
So if you're listening to this, uh, so this is actually my cousin. So aunt, if you're listening to this, in Robert's defense, it's been a long time. I'm sure that even though he can't remember the exact words, he took the heart of the message, and it is now a part of his core. So
Right. Part of my core being.
yes, core being, core values. Okay, that's funny. Okay, I think I have a few more questions.
All right.
And then I think we'll wrap it up. So we'll kind of take the flip side now. So because of this growing thing of black men saying they don't want to they don't want to date black women, so then they feel like they have less people to date. Because it's always, I know for me growing up in my neighborhood, it was always like, where are all the good black men? And I don't think I've ever heard any other race say that. Where are all the good Asian men? Where are the good white men? I think I've only heard where are all the good black men. So
Right, that's hard.
let's say for the single black women listening to this podcast, what would you say to encourage them, or what advice would you give them to help them find the good black men? Would you just tell them, come find me?
Right. I got all the answers. I think that, one thing they can do is like evaluate where they're looking at.
And you mean like where they're looking for guys, I'm guessing?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Where they're looking for guys at, and like just think about if those places they're looking at are good places, to find, like if you looking at a place that has people who have a certain type of behavior, and that you don't like that behavior, you probably shouldn't be looking there.
So I guess give me a few examples of these are good places generally, and
Right.
here's some places where women typically find bad men or bad black men.
All right. Club's not a good spot.
Okay.
The bar could be better.
So it's iffy.
Yeah. Obviously, I would say the church, but
This is a bad place or good place?
good place.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah, I'm gonna clarify that. But I think it's also hard in that aspect because I'm not really sure how many brothers are going. So
Actually going to church.
yeah. So and that's like another issue is we gotta get brothers in the church.
Yep.
I mean the church would be the best spot, but just really I would say maybe like the grocery store. Grocery store might be a good spot.
I would say the grocery store is an overlooked place. I wish I had known that when I was single, to go to the grocery store more often.
Right.
I would say it sounds like if you're a Christian single looking for somebody, it's kind of hard to find a good place, because if you say, well, I don't want to go to the club, I don't want to go to the bar, it seems like you said, there was the grocery store.
Right.
I guess you could try to go to some organizations, like professional organizations. I guess you could try that.
But I would say like just who you are is gonna help you find that person too. So if you are your behavior or whatever you're into is gonna lead you to people as well. So making sure you're in just good or great environments where you can meet solid people and keep yourself around solid people is going to lead you to meet more solid people.
Yep.
So that's what I would probably say would be the best way or the best alternative to help you find someone. You know, your interests would help too. So your hobbies might help.
Yep.
Joining or going, or a gym. Gym could be a good spot to meet somebody. To just whatever you're interested in, find a place to go that other people are interested in that too, and that could broaden some things and connect you with some people you might enjoy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think finding a hobby and just finding places in general where you can meet singles.
Right.
A lot of, especially, I see it's a lot in women where they may just go to work and then they just go straight home. Mm-hmm. And so, you can't pray for God to bring a man in your life if that's the only places you're going. Like, you're limiting him.
Right.
Like, if God were literally to transport a man into your house, when you walk inside your house, you're going to call the police. I mean, it's weird. So
Right.
give God something to work with. So I like that. Okay, so we're going to close the podcast out. But first, Robert, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
All right. So on social media, you can find me. You kind of got me hard on that. You got another
So you got to
question?
be used to this, Robert. Once you start doing interviews, people are going to try to help you, and they're going to say, "Hey, where can we find Robert at?" And then you tell them, your IG.
All right. My IG, if you want to follow me, that's Robert G Walker 3. My bio says so that's how you gonna know.
So you put a lot of time into that one.
I really did. I was like, what's the word I say the most? Put that in my bio.
That'll work. Anything else? Is that it? Is that your main place, IG?
That is not my main place.
Okay.
I'm a leave of absence right now with social media.
Okay.
I do have all social media accounts. You can add me on Facebook if you want to. Just look at Robert Walker III. You'll see some dude who fits my description.
So yes, ladies, Robert Glenn Walker III. Search that on Facebook. So now this may be a question you may not want to answer, and that's okay. Are you on any dating apps? And if you are, give me one or two.
One or two. So I would say the ones that I was on was the Christian app. There was Upward.
Upward. Okay. I never heard of that one.
Yeah, and I was on Tinder.
Okay. So you were swiping left and right.
Right.
Did you ever swipe up? Did you see someone you're like, up?
Think there was a think there was a few. I've never met with anybody though.
Okay.
Through an app yet.
Okay.
Because I've just had them for a while, and I was like, I'd rather just like do things organically, like.
Okay. He's a traditionalist.
Right.
There you go. Okay. Well, Robert, I want to thank you for being on the show, our podcast. And did you have anything to say before we head out?
I just want to say, like.
And if you don't have anything to say, it's okay.
Nah. I was trying to put together what I wanted to say in words. So I just want to uplift all my black women out there. Just know that y'all are truly queens, and y'all got it. That's basically about it.
I see what Robert's trying to do. He's like, I just want all the black women to know that you guys are beautiful, and you can let me know at Robert Glenn Walker III on Facebook.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Robert. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. I'm going to try to bring more people in, interview people more often. So if you like this, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with something, let Robert know. And if you want to add something to the conversation, put it in the comments. Of course, subscribe, like the video.
Comment.
And comment. And if you hear something that you think would help someone else or a friend of yours, please send them a link. All right. You guys have a good one.
Blessings.